Well. Ladies and gentlemen, Slime Squad. Very, very unfortunate news. I am a little late on this, but it seems that Rockstar has delayed GTA 6's release until November 19th, 2026, which does fall on a Thursday. Very, very disappointing news. I'm sure you guys have already seen tons of videos on this, and again, I'm arriving on this a little late. I do apologize for that. I do work a 9 to 5 for those of you who don't know, so it's a little hard for me sometimes to immediately jump on things. They're usually a day or two late, but I do appreciate you guys for always allowing me to have the time to, take the time I need in order to get these videos out to you guys. Now, we got a lot to digest here. Well, not a lot, but a hard pill to swallow, so I guess a lot to digest. Not a lot of information, very little information to digest, but a big pill to digest. We were all expecting GTA 6 to come in May. It was already delayed until May, and now it got delayed again until November, another 6 months. And here's what Rockstar had to say. So this is what they had to say in their official statement. Grand Theft Auto 6 will now release on Thursday, November 19th, 2026. We are sorry for adding additional time to what we realize has been a long wait, but these extra months will allow us to finish the game with the level and polish you have come to expect and deserve. We want to thank you again for your patience and support. While the wait is a little longer, we are incredibly excited for players to experience the sprawling state of Leonida and a return to modern-day Vice City. Sincerely, Rockstar Games. Sincerely, my ass. But anyway, I do want to dive into this. So they said with the polish that we expect and deserve, and I do want to dive into that portion of it first. Let's start off with the positive before we get into the negatives of things getting delayed, because obviously none of us wanted this to get delayed. I think that's I think I speak for everyone that's a fan of GTA, whether you're a content creator or just a fan of the game. I'm assuming that no one wanted to experience a delay, but I am also assuming that most people, I know a lot of us are upset about this, but I am assuming that most people feel the same way I do, the same way a lot of other people do, where we want a complete game, right? You want the game to function the way it's supposed to. You want as minimal bugs as possible, as minimal just hiccups in the release. We want GTA 6 to succeed, right? As fans and as content creators, we all want GTA 6 to succeed. So I think it's safe to say that that's the common goal here. And if they think they need a little more time for the game to succeed in the ways that they want to and that we also want to, I think they should be allotted that time. Now, 2 delays back to back is pretty rough, I will admit, and definitely a little bit disappointing on Rockstar's end. But I was having a discussion with one of my friends the other day, and he said, what do you think the delay can be for? And I said, people forget GTA 5 was released without a multiplayer. And when the multiplayer was released, the online didn't really offer too many options. It was a very vague mode, no heist. You're pretty much just robbing stores. And some people consider that the golden age of Grand Theft Auto Online. I happen to be one of those people. I really like the heist and all these businesses, but I did find the game more enjoyable when it was a lot more simplistic without all the additions to the multiplayer. But I do also have an admiration for the current state of the game where all the business is. I do think that is the correct way to go. In 2025, you simply just can't have a game where the main goal is to run around and rob grocery stores, right? It'll get boring pretty fast. So I do think where GTA 5 currently stands is where it needed to go. But anyway, back to GTA 6, I was talking to one of my friends and I said, did they even have a multiplayer mode finished for the original release date? They probably didn't. They were probably thinking to release this game the same way they did GTA 5, put out the story mode, and then sometime down the line we get a multiplayer. But I think my theory why they delayed it is I think they realized the same thing I told my friend, which what I told him was, if Rockstar releases GTA 6 with no multiplayer, they might fumble the release. Because although single-player games are popular in 2025, multiplayer takes the cake by far. That is the most common way that people like to play their games, is online multiplayer games with their friends. So if GTA 6 releases with no multiplayer, it could really hinder the strength of their release. So I think they're delaying this so that they could release the game with a multiplayer, because they might have came to the same realization that I did, where they realized, hey, we need a multiplayer at launch. This is not something we could put out later and then add content slowly. I think GTA 6 needs a multiplayer at launch. It needs at least 1 or 2 or 3 businesses, starter level businesses. It needs at least 1 heist. You need a way for people to make money and keep them engaged off rip. And I think they might have not had that. And I think that might be the reason for the delay. Personally, I think that's what it is. I think they want to have a polished multiplayer by the release date, because I think they came to the realization that in modern day gaming in 2025, it's really hard to have a successful release without a reliable multiplayer mode in most games, you know? So anyway, that is why I think they delayed the game. Now that we got the kind of positive out the way, the typical, you know, we want the best game possible, the most polished game possible. Take your time, Rockstar. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into the negatives, right? So GTA 5 has been out like 12 or 13 years now. GTA 6 has been in the works for a very long time. I think Rockstar not having this polished and ready to go with all of the time that they had is kind of ridiculous. So although the positive side of me agrees, yes, we all want the most polished game possible, typical, you know, textbook positive feedback on a negative situation, typical, you know, oh, we want the most polished game possible, right? We all do feel that way. But on the other hand, there is something to be said about Rockstar's incompetence and the way they've been handling GTA 6. It does worry me a little bit because they've had a lot of time to get this done. Technology has progressed to a point that it should not be this hard, I think, to create a video game, especially for a AAA producer like Rockstar. And it's not like they have their hands in a bunch of pots. I mean, they got Red Dead Redemption, they got GTA 5, but outside of that, it's not like they're dealing with too many projects. So I'm a little disappointed in Rockstar. I think they've been a little incompetent. I think they've gotten a little comfortable with how successful GTA 5 has been, and I think that's been a big reason behind the lackadaisical effort that's been being put into GTA 6. I think it will be an awesome game. Rockstar has not let us down over all these years. They've produced awesome game after awesome game, and they've had a really good reputation for that exact reason. So I will have the highest faith in them, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't a little disappointed with the fact that we had 2 delays now. The first one, I was like, okay, you know what, guys? We really want the best game possible. Let's allow them to delay it, give them some time to work on it, get it right, work every kink out, do all, you know, et cetera, et cetera. But now the second delay, I'm kind of like, all right, you know, it's a little ridiculous. And honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a third one. If you ask me, I think the game will actually be officially released in December 2026, personally. And I think that would be the last and final delay. But let me know down below your guys' opinion and thoughts. Of course, I am curious how you guys feel about this. I am curious how, you know, what you think Rockstar's reasoning behind the delay is. Do you think it's because the fact that maybe they didn't have a full-fledged multiplayer mode for release? What do you think it is? Why do they keep delaying the game? Let me know in the comments down below. Again, if you enjoyed the video, hit it with a like and sub. If you're new here, join the Slime Squad, and also hit that hype feature. It is the new best way to promote a video on YouTube. So if you want to support the channel, definitely hit the hype feature. And until the next video, peace out, boys.